Welcome to Yaka Digital Network. How does a completely flat collection of pencil strokes trick the human eye into seeing physical weight and volume? The answer lies in mastering still life. By studying inanimate objects in a controlled environment, we can isolate exactly how depth works without the complication of a moving subject. Today, we're going to build that depth using a few familiar local subjects: a traditional earthen pot, a ripe yellow banana, and a textured calabash. To follow along, you will need a basic understanding of tone and perspective. Transforming a blank page into a realistic rendering requires executing three distinct phases: arrange a balanced composition, find the hidden geometry, and apply the logic of light. A common beginner error is the soldier line, lining objects up flatly, destroying depth. Instead, physically overlap them, pushing the banana in front to create a distinct foreground and background. Structuring this cluster within a triangular boundary forces the eye around the entire arrangement. With the arrangement set, try the squint and sketch. By physically blurring your vision, distracting surface details disappear, leaving only the large masses. Complex shapes break down into foundational primitives: a sphere and cylinder for the pot, a curved cylinder for the banana, and overlapping spheres for the calabash. Viewed from an angle, the pot's flat circular opening tilts downward into a precisely curved ellipse. Proper composition and geometric scaffolding ensure your drawing won't look distorted, but they only provide the skeleton. To actually build the form, we need light. Rendering requires a single directional light. Where rays hit initiates a strict sequence. Stage 1 is the highlight, the pure reflection. Stage 2 is the midtone, filling the body with local color. As the surface curves away, we hit Stage 3, the core shadow. Notice there are no thick pencil lines around the edges. Natural forms are defined entirely by contrasting tones pressing against each other, without hard outlines. We've achieved volume, but stopping at the core shadow leaves the pot looking disconnected, floating in empty space. Beginners often shade the unlit side pure black, making it flat, but ambient light bounces off the table into the shadow, creating Stage 4, a subtle reflected light rim. Finally, a dark cast shadow projects across the table, anchoring the pot. Let's test this logic. Pause the video. Mentally calculate where the highlight, core shadow, and reflected light belong on this unshaded calabash. Based on our top left light, the highlight hits upper left, core shadow lower right, and reflected light bottom edge. Mastering that subtle bounce of reflected light is the defining detail that elevates a decent sketch into a fully realized three-dimensional object. With the form established, we have to consider texture. The physical touch and movement of your pencil must mimic the real-world material. A rough, grainy stippling stroke communicates the coarse surface of our earthen pot. But if we draped traditional cloth underneath it, we'd switch to long, smooth, flowing gradients to capture the soft fabric folds. A successful still life is simply the disciplined execution of these three rules. You lock in the triangle composition, respect the perspective of your geometric cylinders and spheres, and systematically map the 5 tones of light. Ultimately, still life is an exercise in observation. Do not draw your preconceived idea of a pot or a banana. Draw only the light reflecting off the object. Master that, and you can draw anything. Thank you for learning with Yaka Digital Network. For more practice materials, reference guides, and full courses, visit us at yaka.cc.